I just spent $1,500 upgrading my Polygon Siskiu D6, but on a bike that costs $1,500 itself, does this really make sense? But based on the performance gains from our last test, I think it was justified. But I also understand that we just don't have an abundance of money lying around just to upgrade a brand new bike, because to be honest, you probably just would have bought a more expensive one in the first place. So today I have a budget of $500 to see if these less expensive upgrades are worth it. And stick around to the end because we're going to be giving away a Polygon Siskiu D6 as well. So let's recap. In the last episode, I upgraded the forks, I also upgraded the wheels and tires and made them tubeless, and the end result, I was a total of 1 minute faster on our 2.2 kilometer test loop. So, in the last episode, as I said, a lot faster, but I wasn't quite as comfortable as I'd like. So in this episode, I'm gonna really focus on my setup and contact points. So that's gonna be stuff like my bars, my grips, my pedals, and the saddle as well. Because I feel if you're more comfortable on the bike, you're gonna be more confident, and then you're gonna be faster as well. So let's start with all the stuff in the cockpit, so your bars, your grips, and your stem. So luckily for me, a lot of this finishing kit's coming from Bontrager, which we now have in stock at Bikes Online in Australia. So what's good about Bontrager, it's nice premium stuff, and they've also got a lot of different things at different price points. So my personal favorite, their wheels, they're absolutely awesome. You get a bunch of engagement, they're really lightweight, and then you've got some more affordable alloy ones, and then they've got some really affordable carbon stuff with a lifetime warranty as well. So definitely check those out. I'll put them in a link in the description. But enough of that, let's talk about the bars. So even though the stock bars on the D6 are a pretty decent width, providing a nice stable ride, they're a little bit on the flat side. So this is great for climbings, but with my bad back and my priority being on the descents, I prefer a bar with a little bit more rise, and that's gonna make me a bit more upright and help me shift my weight back on the descents. So for the bars, I decided to go for the Line 35, which come in a 27.5 millimeter rise. So compared to the stock bars, we're definitely gonna notice a difference there. And I know super wide bars are all the rage right now, but at 820 millimeters, these are way too wide for me. So I'm gonna cut them down to a modest 770 millimeters, but that's just my personal preference. But it's good to know if you like them wide, you can keep them wide. If you like them narrow, you can cut them down. So plenty of range to play with there. So there we go, 770, that feels pretty good. And always remember, when you add your grips, it's gonna be a little bit wider. So even though it's 770, with grips, it should be around 785, 790. And for me, when I'm trying to find my width, I kind of go for what I'm kind of doing when I'm doing a strict form push-up. So that's gonna be your most powerful position. So kind of trial and error, see what works for you, but that works for me. But we've got a problem. On the D6, it uses a 31.8 clamp, and this is a 35 mil clamp bar. So I'm gonna have to change the stem as well. So for the stem, I'm gonna go the Elite 35, so it matches up perfectly, and it's the same length as stock, so it's 45 millimeters, so there shouldn't be too much difference there. So let's talk grips now. So up here in Queensland at the moment, it's been raining a bunch, and the last thing you want is some water getting under your slide-on grips, causing a bit of throttle grip and the moving around. So it's definitely worthwhile getting some good lock-on grips. So for the grips, to keep everything matching, I went for the Bontrager SE Elites. And the good thing about these ones is they're actually made from recycled fishing nets. So that's really cool, do a little bit for the environment and get to shred your bike as well. So other than that, I really like the green on these. They feel really nice, the diameter is good too. But if you want something more affordable, we've got plenty of options on the website. We got stuff from Fun, which I've used as well. And then we got some Entity grips as well. So definitely check those out. But enough of that, let's get all this stuff on the bike. Now, one of the perks of going to Bontrager stuff, yes, you might spend a little bit more, but it's a really premium product. Not only do you save on weight, but because it's all the same brand, all the little marks and stuff like that, they line up. So it makes it really easy to get the bar roll that you want and your grips in the right position too. So I'm pretty stoked with how the Cockpit feels now. The grips are nice and comfortable, and the back sweep of the bars as well as the width suits me really nicely as well. But as you can see, we're missing some brake levers. And that's because we're gonna upgrade them. So I was pretty happy with the stock power on the Shimano MT201 brakes, but one thing I didn't necessarily like was the ergonomics. So these brakes come with longer 2-finger levers, and that's because this brake's used from everything from commuting and all that kind of stuff too. But in mountain biking, we really like to use one finger for our braking. So what you can do is just upgrade the levers. So I learnt this trick from Cure Cycling, also Run Bike Mike is doing this hack at the moment too. So all you do is you upgrade the Shimano Dior levers, XT, SLX, whichever one you want to use, and the hoses fit right in. So you're going to get a lot better feel because it's got that 1-finger lever, and then it's also got the servo wave design as well, so the lever pull just feels a bit better too. So let's swap them over. So brakes are on the bike now, they feel great now, so I'm super excited to see how they perform on the trail. But let's get a little bit personal and talk about butts and saddles. So unfortunately, when it comes to saddles, there's no one size fits all. Everyone's butt's a little bit different. And a lot of the time when you jump on a bike for a first time, especially something that doesn't have an ultra wide saddle, you might notice you're a little bit sore. And this could be one, you're just not used to it, or two, the saddle probably doesn't fit you that well. So after a few rides and padded bike shorts aren't working, I definitely recommend investing in a good saddle. So there's a couple of options here. You can go get a saddle fit, but this might be a little bit pricey. And the other option is a lot of brands these days offer really useful guides on their website. Bontrager is no exception to this. So after looking through all the information, I ended up with the Versus short saddle. So I'm really keen to try this out on the bike. And that means the last contact point we're gonna put on the bike is my favorite pedals, the Entity PP20s. So again, I'll leave links to all the products that I've used in the description as well. So let's get this last stuff out on the bike, and then I'll fill you in on the giveaway. So there we go, I think it looks great, especially those green grips. I'm super happy with how they turned out. But before we hit the trail, let's talk about the giveaway. So up for grabs, the Polygon Siskiu D6 in your size of choice, and this is for both Australia and the US. So super stoked to finally do a giveaway in the US. So all you need to do to enter is head to the link in the description, and from there, you can follow our various socials to earn entries. And we'll draw the winner in 1 week and announce it on our various socials, as well as the community tab on our YouTube channel. And I'll also post a comment on this video as well. And one last thing before we hit the trails, how much did we end up spending? So altogether, we spent $450, so $50 under budget. And you can definitely save a fair bit on these upgrades as well. So you probably didn't need to upgrade the stem because we went to that bigger bar. Stuff like the saddle, the stock one might fit you anyway. So there's definitely some money to save there. And because Bontrager stuff is a little bit more premium, you can definitely save some money by going some more Entity branded stuff as well, which are great value for money. And the last thing, the weight, we saved another 200 grams. So right now we're at 14.5 kilos. So that's around 1.7 kilograms saved from stock. So I'm super stoked with that. So enough of that, let's hit the trails. So what's the verdict? But before we get into the numbers, let's talk about what I felt first. On the climbs, I didn't necessarily feel faster, but I definitely felt more comfortable, and that was thanks to the new saddle and also those higher rise bars, which definitely made my lower back feel a little bit better, and I didn't notice any downsides on those steeper, looser climbs either, where I needed to weight the front end of the bike. More importantly, on the descents, a lot more confidence as well, and that was mainly thanks to those higher rise bars. And this is what I noticed on the D6 when I was comparing it to the D7, which has those higher rise bars. I just noticed that I was a lot more comfortable on the bike and I could really attack the descents. And because I was feeling so good and had so much confidence, I probably wasn't paying as much attention as I probably should. And also the brakes just felt a lot better and I felt in more control. However, the upgrades in the first video with those tires and the fork, I think yielded better results in terms of time and performance. So from stock to the upgrades from last video, we yielded huge gains, but from this video, not too much. So the $1,500 worth of upgrades from last video got a total lap time of 9 minutes and 58 seconds. And from the $500 worth of upgrades from this video, we got a lap time of 9 minutes and 50 seconds. But I don't think this is really statistically significant. I could have just been a little bit fitter today. And when looking at the climbs and descents individually, we didn't notice anything really significant there either. But saying that, this test wasn't really that scientific anyway. With all that being said, this test was mostly about feel, and I noticed that the upgrades from this video, I definitely felt more comfortable on the bike and more confident, so that's got to count for something. So after making all these upgrades, what order would I do them in? So starting off, I think feeling comfortable on the bike's most important, so I'd probably upgrade those higher rise bars, put some lock-on grips there too, some better pedals. You probably don't need to change the saddle unless it doesn't really suit you. Then I would probably go to some tubeless tires, give you a little bit more grip, and then from there, you can upgrade the forks, the brake, and all that kind of stuff too. And that's where you're gonna notice those big performance gains. However, with all that being said, after spending plenty of time on the G6, I'm really stoked on the bike. I think it's a great value package right out of the box, and it's a bike that you can really progress and grow with. And if you wanna win one, don't forget to head to the link in the description as well. And as always, thanks for watching. See ya.